sky was clear, but I couldn't see through it. Something shimmered but never settled. I moved without direction, no sound, just pressure. Time didn't pass, it only waited. Fingers touch the edge, but the surface doesn't break. Life falls sideways, everything begins to bend. Forgot what I was chasing. The echoes knew before I did. Each breath pulled me further into nothing.
Water is still, but something moves beneath. A glow I can't touch, it keeps pulling me forward. I hear voices without words, shadows stretch across the sand. I don't remember arriving, but I'm already too far in. No questions now, only instinct. Only heat, only the pulse I didn't know I followed.
Odyssey racing the part of me. Sim racing my law degree. Start to finish, give all to me. Odyssey racing the Odyssey. Odyssey racing the part of me. Sim racing my law degree. Start to finish, give all to me. Odyssey ORL. 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 VSR all day, VSR my way. Real ones only get it. Say less, we straight. 59, never back down. If you didn't know, just ask around. Pull the draft on the front stretch. Turn one, they tap it down. Force the gap with all contact. Feel the adrenaline off that. Under pressure from front to back. Another cup, one and keep it on track. You wanted more, I'm calling cap. Elvis out, come get it back. 50 drivers in the server. Hope you're ready for combat. Odyssey racing the Odyssey. Odyssey racing the part of me. Sim racing my law degree. Start to finish, give all to me. Odyssey racing the Odyssey. Odyssey racing the part of me. Sim racing my law degree. Start to finish, give all to me. Odyssey ORL. Odyssey.
Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Bienvenidos a Odyssey Racing League, temporada 20, partido 2. Mi nombre es Cristian Julián, también me llaman Koju. Y estamos empezando las cualificaciones de los rookies que están empezando ahorita. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Christian Julian. I also go by Koju. Welcome to Odyssey Racing League Season 20 of GT Americas. We are automatically underway with qualifying right now. Adonique Stapleton is the car we are on board with. A little bit of a squirrely exit there coming out of turn 1. But Adonique, our winner from last week for round 1 in the rookie category. It's going to be very interesting to see how the McLaren holds up here at Barcelona. Very interesting turns. I would say there are the only slow turns would be like the hairpin towards the end and the chicane. Everything else is medium to high speed. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the McLaren faces off against the rest of the rookies here. But before we go into that, let's get some really quick housekeeping out of the way. This is GT Americas that you are watching right now. We host this Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. You have pros, AMs, and rookies on track. After the first round, your winner was Chandler Williams last week, followed by Luke Lizama and Andrew Rados, rounding off your podium in the pro category. In the AM category, Darth Kemmel takes the win for the first round. Kyle White in second, followed by Agüero Martinez in third. For the rookies, taking all the goodies for the first round, Adonique Stapleton, Phil Dixon in second, and Sebastian Quesada rounding off the podium there for the rookies after the first round. We are in round 2, Barcelona. Next week is Zolder. But let's talk about this amazing and incredibly historic track as qualifying still continues. Adonique Stapleton moving up to the top, 145.825 in that McLaren machinery. Inez Spector was in second, but Jade Russell moving quickly into second, taking that away. Actually, I said corrected. It's actually Brandon Nash now in P1, 145.425 for the number 65 Mercedes AMG. The AMG, very interesting machinery. Very long front end, but pretty limble on its tires. A car that arguably tests your trail braking skills as you try to get, or as you try to muscle the front end of that car, as we see Brandon Ash clearly having an easy time doing. as he goes through the twists and turns of Barcelona here. I believe this is turn 8. That's 9. Going down the small little backstretch into turn 10. See if we can get a better view there. Miguel Cizaron in the chat. Hello, Miguel. Nice to see you. Does not look like Brandon Ash is going to be able to improve their time with this lap as Landon Wall shoots up into provisional pole for the rookies. The number 25 Porsche, 144.432 for them. Adam Norhillim in the number 574 Ford Mustang taking the second position right now with a 145.2. Pretty good times for rookies here. Pretty solid times for rookies, if I do say so myself. It is around 103, 104%. I see on my timing chart the number 1 BMW up on the Delta. So we're going to see Roderick Rudd hopefully place better than 10th as they now have to navigate through the hairpin section of turns 10, 11, and 12. We got to bust a left, bust a right, bust another left, and then you have to go back into another hairpin or a chicane section, excuse me. There you go, the right, the left. And then the sweeping right again. Can Roderick keep the BMW under itself and get a really good exit here? The exit at the last turn is everything as he does move up from P10 into P8. Getting some spots there as we do see the AMs and the pros start lining up on the side. Roderick also electing to finish their qualifying run. That is not the person that we wanted to move over to. It was over to this car as we move over to Shane Sullivan in the number 617 BMW. Taking P10 right now, but going through the last turn, almost up a whole second on the Delta. That's going to be changing some of the standings. And by some, I mean most of them moving up into P10. The number 617 Shane Sullivan taking P10 for Trackalicious. Landon Wall in P1 for the rookies. The number 25 Porsche. Adonique Stapleton able to move into P2. And Adam Norhillim takes P3 for your rookie drivers. We have the pros and the AMs out now. But right now we are on board with the number 19 Ford Mustang. Drew Jensen behind the wheel of the DJ Motorsports Mustang. Drew Jensen going to be using all of that V8 power here at Barcelona through the 16 turns, which is about 2.8 miles or 4.6 kilometers, depending on how you view it there. It is a 60-minute race tonight. We have a 30-minute pit window. Fuel is mandatory and required. Tires are not. Barcelona, an interesting track to not take tires on, as I believe most probably towards the end you're gonna start feeling the tires go out from underneath you towards the end of those 60 minutes. So there is a possibility of changing tires depending on how you view your pit strategy. Maybe you take a lighter fuel load in the beginning so your tires won't be as shredded towards the beginning or maybe towards the end. Who knows? Maybe save your fastest laps for towards the middle, or I don't. It's gonna be interesting to see how each driver changes or has their strategy and changes their strategy if needed here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. a very famous and loved track Barcelona is. One of my fondest memories here at Barcelona is the 2019 MotoGP race, where I got to see, or watch it with my father and watch Valentino Rossi battle it out with his teammate. I think his name was like George. Was it Jorge? I think it was like, yeah. I don't remember his last name, but it was like George or something. Because that's where I learned the difference between the... If it's spelled with the J, it's Jorge, I believe. So please let me know in the chat if I'm incorrect. But he was basically battling with his teammate the whole time. And then right at the end, he passes him right at the last turn and takes the win. Incredible motorsport race. That was 2 wheels. However, tonight we are on 4 wheels. It's a little bit of a change of pace. However, I don't think the drivers on track really care too much. 2 wheels, 4 wheels, 6 wheels, 30 wheels. Or they can drive. If it has an engine and they can drive it, I'm pretty sure each driver would say, yes, let's do it. Don't care what we race in, let's race. Drew Jensen in the number 19 Ford Mustang shooting up into P7. Miguel Cizeron sitting in P6 as the silver driver times are now starting to come in. Wong in the number 99 AMG in P8. Richard Harknett, the man, the myth, the legend himself, in the number 66 Nissan. Such an interesting car choice, the Nissan here for Barcelona. A track where I would argue you don't want as much body roll and you want very stiff anti-roll bars, and you just want a very kind of stiffer car here. The Nissan is the complete opposite. Very heavy, very top heavy, likes to swing, likes to sway back and forth. But just as we all know, just as Godzilla does when he rampages through the buildings, he swings his tail left and right. So they had to bring it from cinema to real life. As for some reason the camera didn't change over to the Nissan, but we were supposed to. There it is. Canadian driver behind the wheel of Japanese machinery powerhouse that is the Nissan GTR. Please, Nissan, please do an update. Please, I beg you. Hard braking zone the first turn is, and you gotta go right, left, and then another sweeping right after that. As we watch Richard Harknett try to keep the Nissan under him and from slipping out. A great run under the bridge into turn 4 Repsol. Now down the hill, turn 5, 6, and 7. Also known as TV3 here. There is no TV3, I'll go TV2. TV1. No, what is that? No, I'm sorry, Richard. That was a terrible angle there. TV1, TV2. Alright, that's great. Going down the mini backstretch under the Fanatec GT World Challenge banner. Through the hairpin. So I actually cannot pronounce this. So I'm just going to call it the Barcelona hairpin instead of turn 10. I feel like my pronunciation is not up to par for that turn. So I'm not even going to try it. Richard Harknett moving into P10 and moving off the racing line giving up his qualifying session. As we do look up into the standings, as we were on board with the number 66, the number 251 driven by Kyle White moving into P2. I do sit corrected. Darth Kemmel, the number 727 Porsche, moves into P2, knocking Kyle White onto the third and last step of the podium there, which pushes Miguel Cizeron out of podium contention. The 999 Aston Martin in P4. Kyle White is up on the Delta, and this could put him in the lead, or the provisional lead, as it does. The number 251 moves into provisional pole. A great run by Kyle White there, but we did see off to the left, and we can hear the roaring of the engines of the pros now going on track, as qualifying is now over for the AM drivers. "36 cars will be gridding up tonight. However, right now, for the last 6 minutes and 10 seconds of qualifying, it is the pros. These are our white border, or our white number plates. These are our pro drivers here, as we see them already trying to take advantage of as much space as they can from the cars in front of them as they start lining up for the last turn to start their qualifying. On board right now with the number 924. It's driven by Leila Martinez. Leila, last season's GT4 category winner, now moving up into the pro category of GT3. A great race last week, I believe P4 overall, and P4 for the pro standings in the Kraft Mac and Cheese Ferrari here, showing that it doesn't matter what machinery the driver's behind. It's not the machine. Sometimes it is the driver. Take that as you will. That could be either good or bad. I think it's good in this case. As Leila Martinez as well, a relatively unknown name when they joined a couple of seasons ago, but slowly, steadily, and surely leaving a name for themselves as a great contender here for the Pro Championship at Odyssey Racing League. Let's check over on the Iceman really quick. Phil the Iceman Cryotheos behind the wheel of the number 81 McLaren for Odyssey Racing League Esports. See the left-hand tires dip into the green there, but that is still on track. That is not invalid as he goes under the Fanatec GT World Challenge banner through Barcelona hairpin. As we keep an eye on the Iceman himself, as he will be the first pro car across the line with a valid time. A 1:43.940 is the time to beat, automatically beaten actually by Andrew Rados in the number 82 Porsche. Oh, a change for Andrew Rados. Normally in the Honda, I believe. In this season, he is in the Porsche. That's still kind of I get a little alert in my brain and go, whoa, wait a second. That's interesting. Interesting as well. The number 14 Aston Martin, Thiago Dinarte, moving up into the lead, 1:43.307. These are very close to alien times, folks. Dipping into the 1:42s is very, very fast here at Barcelona. 1:43 is already blazing fast. So almost dipping into the 142s would be the goal, I think, for the pros, if anything, to show off their stuff. Chandler Williams in the number 3 Ford Mustang, moving into P3. That is your winner from last round, from the first round. Now you think 143, or we think 143 is fast, right? Or 142. The fastest time, I believe, at the Barcelona circuit by any motorsport car is 1:15.743. And that's held by Mr. Oscar Piastri himself in the McLaren F1 car. So that is crazy fast. Also, granted, they don't have the chicane at the end like we do here in the ACC version. This is not the historic. This is the GP circuit from 2018. It's like 2019 to 2020 or 2021. However, the beginning for Barcelona, 1991. So even before I was on this earth. You've been having fun and doing motorsport races here. That's good to hear. Andrew Rados in the number 82 Porsche moving up into the lead with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the official qualifying time. 1:43.262 for Andrew Rados. Thiago Donate still in P2 and holding on to the last spot of the podium. That is Chandler Williams still on board with the number 81, the Iceman. Chandler Williams, the number 3 car in P3 for Please Break Turn 1 up on the Delta. I did see a purple Delta by Chandler, but it does look like the purple Delta goes to Thiago, as Thiago is able to cross the finish line and take P1 away from Andrew Rados, as Andrew, it looks like he returns to the pits, and that ends his official qualifying time. So Andrew Rados is going to stay in P2 or lesser, as Chandler Williams crosses the line, not able to improve as well. A couple of cars are in the spot for improvement. Bonus Charles able to improve, not able to improve, as he stays in P5. The number 26 lime, or that's not lime green, that's like a, I don't know what kind of green, but I do like that green. Crosses the line in P5. Alex Cruz as well, not able to improve, still stays in P8, as I believe that is the end of the official qualifying time. We do have Phil Cryotheos on the last time. We're going to be keeping an eye on that to see if he's able to improve his Delta and able to claw his way into the podium at the last second. Through turns 9 now into the backstretch. Into the hard braking zone. Through the Barcelona hairpin, busts a left, then he goes right. And then he's got to go right again. And bust a left, a squirrely little exit there, going through the last turn. Let's see if he's able to improve. It does look like an improvement, but will that put him in podium contention? That will not, and that leaves the Iceman in P4. So that's going to put us into a quick intermission. We're going to go back to the, and we're going to come back with the grid walk. We'll see you soon. Hello everyone. Saludos a todos. Bienvenidos a Odyssey Racing League GT Americas. Partido 20. We have an incredible race, a 60-minute race for you tonight. Well, first, we're going to go quickly through the grid walk. Qualifying on pole position, the number 14 Aston Martin, Thiago Dinarte. In P2, the number 82, driven by Andrew Rados for Lion Speed X Herbert. In the third spot of the podium, the number 3 Ford Mustang, driven by Chandler Williams. P4, the number 81 McLaren, Phil the Iceman Cryotheos. In P5, bonus Charles, the number 26 BMW. P6, the number 27 Audi, Andres Espinosa. Who's also in the chat by the way. Hello, Andres. You should you should probably get ready for the race. Get in your car. P6. P7, Leila Martinez, the number 924 Ferrari. It's the Kraft Mac and Cheese Ferrari to be exact. Alex Cruz in P8. This is number 12 Mercedes AMG. P9, Kyle White, the number 251 Aston Martin, your leader as well for the silver drivers. So the amateur drivers / silver drivers, he is your leader. P10 to round off your top 10, Michael Moletta, the number 72 Aston Martin for Baller Squad Racing. P11, Landon Wall, the number 25 Porsche. P12, Darth Kemmel, and the number 727 Porsche. P13, Dean Solomon for Backrow GT Racing. P13, P14 is the 999 Aston Martin driven by Miguel Cizeron. P15, Aronique Stapleton, the number 35 McLaren for Trinity Echo. I did forget to mention in P11, the number 25 Porsche driven by Landon Wall is your leader for the rookie drivers, so the red-plated drivers. But P16, Adam Norhelim and the number 574 Ford Mustang. P17, Brandon Ash, the number 69 AMG, followed by Drew Jensen in the number 19 Ford Mustang. P18 for Drew. P19 goes to Austin. That's Austin Wall in the number 22 Porsche. And then in P20, it's Daniel Fernandez for Bacon Streeps Racing. P21 is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Richard Harknett, and the number 66 Nissan GTR. P22 is held on by Wei-Shin Wang, the number 99 Ford. Excuse me, that's not a Ford. That's a Mercedes AMG. Phil Dixon, and number 85 Porsche holds on to P23. P24 is Shane Sullivan, and number 617 BMW. Jade Russell, P25 in the number 234 Ferrari, followed by Inez Spector in the number 240 Ferrari. Michael Cortez for Noobs R Us Racing right behind them in the number 716 McLaren. BMW behind them is Roderick Rudd. That's number 1 BMW to be exact. Alex Donaldson in at P29, the number 24 Aston Martin. P30 Red de Guzman in the number 6 Honda is the Hack Dog Racing Honda to be exact. Robert Brochta in the number 331 BMW in at P31. P32 Bobby Evans for Evans on Track in the number 120 Ferrari. Agüero Martinez for Moon Black Racing Team, excuse me. The Spanish driver at his home track, actually, in the number 15 BMW. In at P34, Alan Romero in the number 7 Porsche. Ryan Chanley, number 67 Ford Mustang in P35. And last but not least, rounding off your grid here for Season 20, Round 2 of Odyssey Racing League GT Americans, it is Sebastian Quesada. Or to be exact, Sebastian Quesada in the number 21 Ferrari. as the drivers start getting closer towards the last couple of turns. It is, again, a 60-minute race, 3 p.m. in race time or in sim time, 23 degrees ambient temperature Celsius, 28 degrees Celsius on the track. So it's a very nice, very cool. Doesn't look to be very sunny. It's going to be kind of cloudy for the race. But as the drivers go through the last turn, again, my name is Christian Julian. You are watching Odyssey Racing League Season 20, Round 2. Thank you so much for joining. Whether you are joining live or sometime in the future, side by side, the drivers are. As the anticipation grows, the green flag drops, and away we go. Andrew Rados with a great start there along the outside. Thiago Donate trying to put his defensive moves and defensive showcase on as he puts himself in the middle of the track, not allowing the Ford Mustang of Chandler Williams to get past. Going into the first turn, Thiago Donate able to get a better entrance into the turn. First turn, second turn, nothing too crazy as a couple of drivers in the back are going 2, maybe 3 wide. Thiago Donate able to get a little bit of door bruising and banging there, but able to get past Andrew Rados. Andrew Rados in P2, Chandler Williams P3, Phil Theos P4. Nothing too crazy. A couple of moves probably being made or potentially being made along the inside as Bonus Charles is taking and hugging the inside turn, making sure that Leila's not able to get past. Andres Espinosa, that's in the Audi there, getting a squirrely exit, putting both tires into the concrete. That's a spinning Porsche. I think that's the Porsche of Andrew Rados, so a potential contact by Andrew Rados and the leader, so that puts him in a spin, and that's going to spit him out into the grass, and that's going to be a terrible start to the race for both cars, if not just one of those cars. I think one of them, or the other car, got away if it was contact. I do see more contact there. That's the number 716. Also a yellow flag, and the number 331 and the number 99, all yellow flags. So potential contact between all these cars as Thiago Donate is now able to slowly start increasing his lead. Chandler Williams now into P2. Phil Theos moving up into P3. Bonus Charles P4. Leila Martinez P5. Landon Wall P6. Andres Espinosa with a orange flag, which means for contact, but it looks like he's okay now. Michael Molita in P8. Alex Cruz P9 and Darth Kemmel in P10, but it's a smorgasbord of cars there on the track trying to get through the hairpin and the final turn. Now is when the potential moves will be made here coming into turn 1. Is that a move? Leila Martinez, potential contact along the inside. That's the Porsche of Landon Wall trying to make a move. Leila Martinez putting all left tires into the green there, trying to stay on the track and trying to keep the Ferrari from going out of the white lines. Oh, potential switchback by Leila now side by side with the Porsche. What an incredible race this is by both cars. Is Leila going to go in for the diving move, potentially trying to stay on track and side by side with the Porsche? The Porsche of Landon Wall has to go deep, and it potentially gives up the position. Leila Martinez able to take back P5 away from Landon Wall. One of the rookie in the P25 Porsche putting a heck of a show for a red plate driver. However, Leila Martinez showing that, hey, us white plates know our stuff. Moving a little bit farther back. Alex Cruz being attacked from all sides, from the front and from behind, as Darth Kemmel gets a potentially better run here than the Mercedes AMG. Does he go for an inside move? There is no inside move, but a couple of Astons battling it out in the back. That's the 999, potentially putting himself in the middle of the track, but not getting a better exit, as it does look like Kyle White is able to get alongside. However, the nose cut off of the 251 by the 999 there. Did the 251 deserve space? I don't know. However, that is a very interesting spot to just cut there, especially when you have a car that could be lunging along the inside. Dean Solomon and the number 59 Porsche watching the two Astons battle in front, waiting for his time to strike. Regressively returning to the racing line, the 999 goes in to take track position away from the number 251, but that potentially leaves Dean Solomon with a little bit more racing room there, as the other cars are still battling for position, and they probably aren't paying attention to basically to the car behind them. as Dean Solomon is itching ever so closer. Contact flag in the back for Daniel Fernandez and Aguero Martinez as we move over to this battle as well. A couple of battles happening here and there. Alex Donaldson able to get past Bobby Evans there for P28. Moving up, Michael Moletta. On the back bumper of Andres Espinosa, Leila Martinez in the front there of our screen. And the very recognizable mac and cheese Ferrari. This may not look like it, but there is also an elevation change here. They have to go uphill slightly as they go left, right, or left, and then into the double right-hander before the chicane section here. Michael Moletta smacking the sausage curb there, but able to keep the car under control and within the white lines. The Mercedes-AMG behind them, driven by Alex Cruz, a potentially better run as he looks along the inside. Alex Cruz trying to get the draft behind the Aston Martin. Will the Aston make a defensive move, or will Alex Cruz looks along the inside, makes the fakey move, joins the line, but that allows Michael Moletta to smoothly return to the racing line and not have to think too much about the defense there. Moving forward a little bit, Bonus Charles defending with everything that he's got as Leila Martinez along the inside. Leila Martinez goes. The BMW of Bonus gets pushed, but into the braking zone. They both go side by side. Potential contact being made. No contact, as they do have elbows out there going into the race. A squirrely exit there for Bonus. Is he able to stay ahead, trying to squeeze the Ferrari as he's trying to get into TV3, but not able to get it as he has to slot in the middle of the Porsche of the Porsche and the Ferrari there. That's the Porsche of Landon Wall. So Leila Martinez moving up into P4. Bonus Charles momentarily losing a position, potentially two positions, as we have, again, a charcuterie board here of different GT3 cars on the track. Andres Espinosa along the inside pushes the Porsche of Landon Wall out. The 27 RG Bargy into P6 now. An incredible move there into the braking zone by the number 27 Audi. However, all these cars are so close to each other that any small mistake can result in one, if not two positions lost. Squirrely exit there for the number 25. Excuse me, for the number 25. Regaining it, though, into the last turn. Now a drag race into turn one. Who wants it more? As we keep an eye on this battle, Michael Moletta tries to go along the outside, unfortunately putting all four tires off the racing surface and collecting some of those tire marbles. That's going to be slowing him down as those tire marbles start to bleed off the car. However, the Porsche of Landon Wall going too deep into the braking zone, which allows the number 72 the go-ahead pass. Now moving into P7, Michael Moletta Whoa, what happened there with the camera? Side by side, Daniel Fernandez, and that's Brandon Nash and the number 69 AMG down the backstretch. The number 69 with a great potential exit there, giving a little bit of a bumper bump from behind to push the 626 forward, as Daniel Fernandez is able to keep the position away from Brandon Nash. We do have the number 3 going into the pit lane, serving a drive-through penalty. So that is... Normally, I would say it usually doesn't matter, but a drive-through here at Barcelona is a little bit of a twist of the knife into the side, if I do say so myself. So the number 3 car is going to start hemorrhaging positions. They were battling for P1 earlier against the number 14, Diego Dinarte, but Diego in the number 14 is still your race leader. In a P2, about 3 seconds behind, it's the number 81. Bill, the Iceman, Priotios, behind the wheel there. In your third position of the podium, Leila Martinez in the Kraft Mac and Cheese Ferrari. It's the number 924 Ferrari with the little sharks on the side. Right behind them in the same frame, bonus Charles, and the number 26 BMW behind them. Andres Espinosa, number 27 Audi. Michael Maleta, P7. Landon Wall. Michael Maleta, P6. Landon Wall, P7. Alex Cruz, P8. Darth Kemmel, P9. And Miguel Cizaron in P10 to round off your top 10 here for Season 20, Round 2 of Odyssey Racing League at GT Americas. A stop and go penalty handed out to the number 99 for causing a collision. That is very detrimental to your race if you're given a stop and go. The number 99 is Wei Shin Wang. That's the Mercedes AMG. You're gonna have to serve that drive-through or the stop and go, but hopefully before the pit stop, as the pit stop window gets ever so closer. Drivers are going to have to dive into the pit lane for their mandatory pit stop. They can stay for a little siesta if they like, but if they want, they can just go back on there on track after they get their mandatory fuel and continue their race. A little bit of a squirrely exit, but a great show of skill to keep it within the white lines. Kyle White in the number 251 Aston Martin still battling to get into the top 10. Miguel Cizaron in the 999 Aston Martin in front of him in the very colorful livery, acting as the top 10 gatekeeper for now. Moving up a little bit into the standings, Michael Maleta feeling a little bit of pressure from Landon Wall behind him, as Landon faking a move along the inside to potentially make Michael's bite on the defensive move. However, Michael, like a rock, did not move from the racing line. Into turn 7, also known as TV3. The cars get closer as they now have to hit the medium right-hander of turn 9 into the back straight now. A great exit here will give you great positioning for a move here into the braking zone. Does anybody make one? No, it doesn't look like it. Landon Wall, however, has to brake a little bit deeper than he expected, and some contact there with the number 12 as the number 12 tries to take onto the racing line and potentially feels the number 25 was not allowed that racing space, as they did go off the racing surface. So number 12 does move into P7. Landon Wall losing a spot there, but another Porsche right behind him pressuring him. That's Darth Kemmel and the number 727. So Landon's going to have to kind of forget that and keep looking forward, as we do see still the Astons in the back battling it out for the top 10. A little bit further down, Agüero Martinez in the BMW on the back bumper of the back row GT Racing Porsche, driven by Dean Solomon along the inside. The BMW showing his hand potentially a little bit too early, but getting alongside wheel to wheel, hub to hub. Agüero Martinez is able to make it, going into the braking zone now, side by side. Both cars go. Are they able to make it comfortably? It doesn't look like it, as the number 15 and the number 59 make contact there. And the number 59 does get pushed off, flashing his little lights, and potentially, if he was able to use any emojis, using a one-finger salute. But that emoji is not available. And potentially could get you banned. I don't know. We'll let the stewards decide that. As we move forward, that little message at the bottom right of our screen lets us know that the pit window is now officially open here for round 2. So they have a 30-minute pit window to complete their mandatory pit stop. Fuel is required. Tires are not. However, depending on how you're doing this race, tires may be mandatory. Or not mandatory, but tires may be an option. Chandler Williams in the number 3 Ford Mustang, trying to make a move along the inside, braking side by side. Ford on Ford violence as they actually don't have to touch. The number 3 gets by cleanly, as there's still battling going on. This is Richard Harknett and Austin Wall battling in the front, as Chandler Williams is trying to throw his Ford Mustang there into the mix. You see them go and maneuver through the hairpin section. Does anybody go into the pits? No, nobody is joining the pit lane party, as they all stay out. I do sit corrected, though, that is somebody in the pit lane. That's the number 99, so they are doing their stop and go by the looks of it. Chandler Williams along the inside, a braking move by the number 66. A late braking move by the number 66, potentially putting his car in a position where it should not have been. The number 3 being collected, or the number 3 also making contact, spinning the number 66 and collecting another car as well. Was this potentially late braking move? I don't know. We'll let the stewards decide that. Well, let's see if we can get a better look at that. Going into the braking zone, if we can get a heli cam. Into turn 1, the number 66 goes. Oh, potential net code, or just losing the car, as they looked like they were going to be going side by side there into turn 1, potentially 3 wide, but I think one of them should have backed out potentially. But an interesting move made nonetheless. Richard Harknett getting the brunt end of the stick there, putting himself now into P23. Chandler Williams in P17. Austin Wall P16. So now these cars are battling for position. Adonique Stapleton and the number 35 McLaren on the back bumper of Drew Jensen there. Move made along the inside. Adonique able to get past Drew Jensen, but the V8 of the Ford Mustang showing that the straight line speed is one of its strong suits. Potentially going side by side into the braking zone. Is Adonique able to make any defensive moves? He doesn't, as he goes braking, throws his car into the first turn and able to make it stick. The number 19 having to sit back and not go for a move there into turn 1. I do apologize, racing fans, for the dropped frames as well. My PC knows it's a holiday, so it's trying to take an early vacation here. Speaking of a potential early vacation, Michael Moletta fighting with Andres Espinosa. Andres Espinosa squirrely exit coming onto the back end straight there, or the back mini straight. So that allows the V8 of the Aston Martin to speed past the number 27. Lots of positions still being fought for. Alex Cruz in the number 12 Mercedes-AMG P7. However, right now in the middle of a heated battle between not one, not two, but three other cars, two in front, one behind, potentially another one behind, waiting in the wings. That is Landon Wall. A squirrely exit by Darth Kemmel there, but able to keep it under wraps as they now go under the bridge. Darth Kemmel with a great show of his force power is able to keep that Porsche from spinning out there, because I sure as heck would have spun out easily in that section with the Porsche there. Porsche also arguably the most difficult car in the game. People argue between the Porsche and between the Honda in this game for the most actively used cars, like cars that are also still used in like the Pro and like LFM Pro and the Pro scene for ACC. People argue between the Porsche and the Honda. Those are the toughest cars. One of my favorite cars, the Lamborghini. Any Lamborghini. What about you, racing fans? What's your favorite car? Please let me know in the chat. And if you don't have a favorite car, you have to tell me what your favorite Pokemon is. So either choose your favorite car or your favorite Pokemon. Two Porsches crossing the start-finish line into the hard braking zone of turn 1. Interestingly enough, as well, from my memory, the Porsche is also getting an Evo update. So I believe the 992 that we do see on our screen is going to be getting an update in an Evo. So it's going to be an aero package update. I don't believe they've done anything to the engine, but please let me know in the chat as well if you do know if there is an engine change. But I believe there is an aero package change. Aguero Martinez in the number 15 BMW. 5-second time penalty, but not allowing that to deter him from trying to get into the top 10. Miguel Cizeron in the 999 Aston Martin, not allowing him right now. The pit window is open. 22 minutes left in that pit window, as we do see some penalties being handed out to the number 15 car. That is 10 seconds handed out to the number 15. Potential contact for the number 22 as they start losing spots. That's them. That's Austin Wall there in the last couple of turns, taking a small vacation in the grass. I don't know if that's a self-kill or if that was helped, or if that was like a kill assist. As we do see the number 22 join us in the pit lane here for the pit lane fiesta. Getting that necessary fuel, potentially changing out that Pirelli rubber since they had that small little incident there. We're going to be moving over to Kyle White here, as we can see Kyle White is trying to make a move around the outside of Bobby Evans. Bobby Evans with potentially a little bit of small some scratches and bruises there on the front end of that Ferrari, but nothing too detrimental. If there is damage, it's got to be on the inside because I can't see it right. But we have some cars already in the pit lane trying to undercut the rest of the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars by my count so far. As we do quickly look up on top, your race leader, the number 14, driven by Thiago Dinarte, for Please Break Turn 1. Also holding on to the purple crown. That means that they have the fastest lap on the track, 143.452. That is held on to your race leader, still Thiago Dinarte. P2, Phil the Iceman Cryotheos for Odyssey Esports. Leila Martinez in P3, rounding off your podium. That's the number 924 Ferrari. It's a mac and cheese Ferrari to be exact. Bonus Charles and the number 26 BMW for Mama Africa M Sport. Michael Moletta for Baller Squad Racing P5. Alex Cruz P6 for the number 12 Mercedes AMG Darth Kemmel. Number 727 in P7. Landon Wall P8 for the number 25 Porsche. Agüero Martinez now able to get past and into the top 10. Number 15 BMW. P9 Miguel Cizeron in P10 to round off your top 10. So nobody in the top 17 with the late braking move by the number 21. It looks to be a car that is 21. That is Sebastian Quesada. It looks like they've already done their pit. So they are fresh on fuel. And they are ready to go. Teta Rochta in the chat. Ferrari SF90 Spider. That is a very nice car, I will say so myself. I'm a sucker for the I think it's the, is it the SF90? It's either the SF90 or there was another car that I really liked. But one, it's the F40. Like, you can't say no to an F40, right? Any chance I get, I'll drive one. In any sim, if there's an F40, I'll drive it. Screaming Metal Death Trap? Yes, please. Where do I sign up? Trying to keep the power of the flat six of the Porsche under control. Landon Wall still able to stay on the back bumper of Darth Kemmel in P6 there. Both cars not technically fighting for overall or for championship positions, as Landon is a rookie driver. Darth Kemmel classified as an amateur driver, but with the way that Landon is driving, it is a potential that Landon could be bumped up relatively quickly. Get a license upgrade. Cha-ching! Congratulations from rookie to am. Odyssey Racing League has its own categories of driver licensing. We do have rookies, amateurs, and pros. So bronze, silver, and gold, however you like to call them. We have our own internal method of how drivers are able to upgrade their licenses or getting potentially downgraded. Excuse me, a potential downgrade of the license, a better way to put it. As we did have Darth Kemmel diving into the pit lane at the last second. So he is now in the pit lane, joining us for our afternoon siesta. Kemmel, come over here. I have some snacks. You can get some. Don't forget to take some snacks on the way out. Landon Wall along the outside. Still battling for position. Both of these Porsches are as they try to get through the traffic. Still holding on to the position of Landon Wall is Alex Cruz, a little bit farther up ahead in the number 12 Mercedes AMG. Not too far ahead though, it's like about a second and a half. So anything can happen here for any of these three drivers. We didn't see it on screen, but we were moving over to it as quick as possible. Chandler Williams in the number 3, able to move back up in to P8. Miguel Cizeron now in P9. Chandler Williams with the drive-through that they had to serve earlier, with a heck of a recovery drive, if I do say so myself, after suffering that drive-through. That is technically 5 positions lost overall. However, they went from like P3 to like P16 or P17, if I do remember correctly. So getting back up into the top 10, arguably trying to get into the potentially up into the top 5 would be very, very well, or do very, very well for Chandler Williams. A pit lane party is now in effect. Layla Martinez, Bonus Charles, Alex Cruz, and Landon Wall all diving into the pit lanes one by one after another, as we see them all line up now, getting the necessary fuel and the necessary required fuel and potential change of the rubber. A little bit of pit lane traffic as we do see the Ford Mustang. Who is that? Who's the silly that's going out? That's number 67. That's Ryan Chanley, able to get out. We can see Layla Martinez now leaving the pit lanes first. Bonus Charles now released as well, as we do see a very nice view here of the track. Alex Cruz also released as well after completing their mandatory pit stop. Andres Espinosa now on a valid lap and with warmed up tires, so he's going to be throwing himself into the mix here between all of these cars that have just been released from the pit lane. The battle on our screen is between Phil Dixon and Inez Spector. Inez in the Ferrari, Phil Dixon in the Porsche. A late braking move along the inside, however, not able to make it stick. A little bit of front end damage on that Porsche as well, so potentially cutting down on their acceleration and or top end speed. Phil Dixon into the pit lane. He goes. Pit limiter, pit limiter, pit limiter. Red switch, red switch. There it is. Bumper to bumper through the last couple of turns they go. Andres Espinosa trying to apply pressure, maybe feeling a little bit of that pressure as they get a squirrely exit coming out of the chicane and into the last turn. Andres Espinosa now going to have to use all 10 of the cylinders in the back end of that Audi to try to catch up to the dueling cars in front. A blue flag is out, so that does signify that there is a lapped car. I believe that is the number 24. That is the lapped car, so that is a blue flag for the 24 Aston Martin. They did go off track there to give space to the two dueling cars in front. A potential move being made by Andres Espinosa, capitalizing on the mistake of Landon Wall, who had to go a little bit deeper than he expected. Number 25 losing that spot now. P12 for Landon Wall. Andres Espinosa moving up into P11. Potentially potentially hotter tires and hotter brakes allows for hotter moves to be made into the braking zone. Landon Wall, however, not giving up. The Porsche being tenacious as ever on the back bumper of this Audi. Go Gadget extendo arm, says Landon Wall. as he now tries to catch up on the back stretch here. In the pit lane, our race leader, Thiago Narate, actually leaving now. Phil Cryotheos, Aguero Martinez, Chandler Williams, all in the pit lane as well. Thiago Narate able to leave in relatively clean traffic in front and behind him, so nothing to worry about too much. Phil Cryotheos coming out into some traffic. A stop go 30 for the number 81. Is that for speeding in the pit lanes? I hope so, because potentially having that for an incident is not... Well, even a stop go 30 for speeding in the pits is not normally something we see happen to the Iceman here. And not a mistake he normally makes, but a mistake that anybody can make. Thiago Dinarte still holds on to the lead. Inez Spector in the number 240 Ferrari, now in P2, however, still have to complete their mandatory pit stop. Phil Crowtheos in P3, leaving the pit lane. Leila Martinez in P4. P5, Michael Moletta. P6, Bonus Charles. P7, Alex Cruz. P8, Andres Espinosa. And P9, Landon Wall. Back to the battle that we were looking at a little bit earlier. As I do see a yellow flag out for the number 1. So that means potential contact and off track. That is Roderick Rudd in the number 1, a yellow flag for them. A caution flag. Landon Wall again, a squirrely exit through the S's there after TV3. But able to keep it under control. The Aston Martin behind not able to keep it under control there as they show off their hanger and Hulk smash through the through the sign there. Who was that? That's the number 24. That's Alex Donaldson. Showing off the strength of that V8. And showing no mercy to the bollards and the signs. A couple of cars still have not elected to take their pit stop. Actually, it does look like they're in the pit lane now. Inez Spector in the pit lane, completing their mandatory pit stop. Phil Cryotheos also in the pit lane, having to serve that stop go 30. That is very detrimental to their race there. However, less than 30 minutes or less than 24 minutes left to go. It's not going to be a lot of time to recover those spots. Coming out into the traffic, Ferrari is, but on our screen, the number 3 Ford Mustang and the McLaren, that's the number 626 McLaren of Daniel Fernandez, battling it out. There's now new traffic that they're going to have to contend with. That is the Ferrari of, excuse me, I cannot see, I am blind. A defensive move returning to the line by the Ford Mustang. Number 626 trying to get past. That is 234. That is Jade Russell in the Ferrari. So it's going to be a blue flag for Jade Russell. Excuse me, that's a 21, Sebastian Quesada. I think I said 234 earlier. I do sit corrected. That is the number 21, driven by Sebastian Quesada in the blue and yellow Ferrari. They're taking the normal racing line and the normal braking line there. But fighting for position. Along the inside he goes. Drew Jensen having to give it up. So the go-ahead position for Sebastian. Now on the back bumper of Adonique. Can Adonique hold on to podium for the rookies here? As we see them. Oh, that's not a camera change that we wanted, but going through the final turn. under the Audi Sport bridge through TV3. Now into turn 9. Chandler Williams and Agüero Martinez still battling for position here. Chandler Williams with a daring move along the inside, potentially too deep as Agüero Martinez makes the switchback happen. Both cars tire to tire, wheel to wheel. Contact being made as elbows are being thrown out for track position, and the number 3 getting the brunt of it as they go off track there and lose track position. Agüero Martinez able to get out ahead there. P11 for Agüero still. Chandler Williams still in P12 as the battle dies down a little bit, but it's going to start heating up very quickly again. Moving up a little bit higher on the tree, Landon Wall trying to make a move through turns 1 and 2 on Andres Espinosa on the number 27 Audi in front of us in the front there. Oh, that's not a camera angle we like. This is a camera angle we like. Under the bridge. Into the sweeping medium speed, about medium to high speed right-hander, depending on your car, right? The number 617 giving up the racing room to the cars, battling it out on our screen there. Thank you very much to the number 617. Moving down a little bit, or even a little bit farther up, Darth Kemmel in P10. Miguel Cizeron P9, able to take and move up into P9 off screen, but now on screen the battle continues a little bit, or a space back. We do see Agüero Martinez and Chandler Williams still fighting, and then 5 seconds behind that, it's going to be Daniel Fernandez and Kyle White fighting it out. So we're potentially going to see 3 different battles happening on our screen here. Can we see the Daniel Fernandez battle? We can see it in the back there. Daniel Fernandez and Kyle White, bumper to bumper there, coming out of turn 9. But on our screen now, Darth Kemmel trying to get past 10 and in to P9. The 999, however, though, holding on to it. Ay, mi madre. Moving over, I thought we were going to see a potential move being made into the braking zone, but we just saw Inez Spector eating the lunch of the number 35 there. That's Adonique Stapleton. However, Inez allowing the number 35 back on track and back into the position that they deserved. A little bit of a squirrely exit there, coming into the chicane for the number 240. So it looks like it's just a, just either biting off more than you can chew coming into the braking zone, or just, I don't know, maybe the brakes are going out, or maybe even the tires are going out. 17 minutes and 10 seconds left in our 60-minute race feature here for Odyssey Racing League Season 20, Round 2. If you can't tell already, we are at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Barcelona is an incredible track, if I do say so myself. 16 turns of non-stop racing actions, different speeds, different elevations, different types of turns as well. So Barcelona, a great all-rounder, in my opinion, to just practice your racecraft. Porsche is known for their relative nimbleness through the curves. Darth Kemmel and I believe that is Dean Solomon, yeah, Dean Solomon battling it out, trying to show that even though that these cars are known for their turning potential and turning radius, they are very good on the straights, Dean's, and their slip angle, as we did see Dean Solomon get a very nice little slip through there. Potentially not so nice, as he did lose a position there, breaking deep into turn 4, Repsol, as it's called. So Darth Kemmel moving up into P8, Dean Solomon P9. Right behind him is another battle, Miguel Cizeron in the 999, and Aguero Martinez as well. So that battle, all of this is 4 position right now on our screen. And with 15 minutes left to go, this battle I do not think is going to end. With that also, the pit window is now closed. So any driver that did not complete their mandatory pit stop will be handed a hefty penalty and a hefty fine. A couple of spankings after the race. But they'll be good to go for the next one. They'll just be not having a good time at the end of this one. A late braking move along the inside. Aguero Martinez tried to put the front end of his car, but potentially putting his nose where it didn't belong and causing a collision with the number 999 as it spins around. However, the 999 able to gain composure and stay on track. As now we have the number 3 throwing his Ford Mustang into contention there, 4th position. Is this going to be 3 wide? It doesn't look like it. Aguero Martinez looked along the inside to potentially make a really, really shallow cut across the apex there, but elected to stay behind the number 3 and get back into racing position. So that is Aguero Martinez moving into P12. Chandler Williams, P11. Miguel Cizeron, P10. But this battle is not stopping. This is an incredible race, if I do say so myself, racing fans. Oh, no, there we go. That's the correct camera angle we want. A late diving lunge into the inside and contact being made by the 999 and the number 3. I don't know if there was enough side-by-side room with that angle that we had there to see if the 999 should have allowed the number 3 through. However, the 999 taking the brunt of that hit, pushing them into P12. Chandler Williams now moving up into P10. Aguero Martinez able to slip on by now in P11 with the go-ahead position. apologize for that brief intermission, racing fans, but the landlord was at the door. If you don't know, the inside joke here is a landlord is my is a stray cats that I feed outside. So they come to collect the rent every night. I gotta go feed them. So the rent is paid for tonight, so we can continue on with the battle that is happening on our screen. 6 minutes, 23 seconds left to go. Mic check, 1, 2. Wait, Drew, you're supposed to be driving, Drew. You can't be talking in the chat. My friend, come on. I do not have that much talent. I can't be driving and talking at the same time, let alone typing in the chat. Yeah, there's something else. Something else that we can also see on our screen. Bonus Charles lost the position of P3 to Michael Mileto, but still trying to keep himself on the podium. A plethora of cars behind him, also still eyeing the prize, which is to be on the podium as well. A little bit of traffic along the inside. But I don't think that's going to allow, or that's going to stop the duel between all of these cars. As we have a drive-through to the number 67 for track limits. The number 67 is Ryan Shanley. Oh no, so that's a drive-through. This is easily a 50-second drive, like a 30 to 40-second drive-through. I was gonna say 50, but I actually don't think it's that long of a pit lane, technically. Just the exit is very, very long. They're also in the chat asking what position Richard is in. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Richard Harknett, and the number 66 Nissan GTR. P25 overall for the Canadian driver behind the wheel of the Japanese machinery. 146.520, the fastest time for the Godzilla. Speaking of fastest time on track still held on to your race leader, Thiago Denarte. 143.537 for Thiago. So that basically like super glues the purple crown onto his head there. Landon Wall, Andres Espinosa fighting for P6 and P7 to number 27, cutting off the nose of the Porsche. No contact being made, however, as they continue their battle with less than 3 minutes to go in round 2 of Odyssey Racing League's Season 20 of GT Americas. Andres Espinosa having to go off the track, not able to keep it under control. Potentially gaining an advantage there in the corner, so we're gonna wait to see what happens there. Landon Wall able to use the slipstream to his advantage. Is he there? Wheel to wheel. It looks like he is being pushed all across the edge. Andres Espinosa returns to the racing line, tries to get a better line into the turn 1, into turn 2. It does look like he does, and able to stick it out ahead of Landon Wall there. A great initial run by Landon to get alongside, but Andres Espinosa potentially showing more racing seat time and battle experience, so able to go and push him all the way to the outside and then return to the corner before the turn. Keeping an eye on the race clock and your race leader. They've crossed the finish line, so that is the official final lap. So we are on the white flag. That is the final lap for our 60-minute Spanish adventure tonight. Un partido increíble que hemos visto esta noche. What an incredible race we've had tonight. 37 seconds left to go. Keeping an eye on the race leader. They are around... They're already at turn in the back straight there. As we are still on board with the number 27, Andres Espinosa. P6 for Andres. Great hard-fought battle for them. Sebastian Quesada, however, in the hairpin turn in front, trying to fight for the last couple of positions before the checkered flag drops. However, with a commanding lead, and has stayed in the lead throughout the whole race, showing that they had the skill and the will to take the win. The checkered flag drops. Your winner for round 2, Thiago Dinarte. In P2, the number 924 Kraft Mac and Cheese. Last couple of turns here for the number 924 P2 overall, as they are crossing the final chicane, the final right-hander, and through goes Leila Martinez. Checkered flag, P2 for the number 924. Congratulations to Thiago and Leila. P3, not too far off from P2, the number 72 Aston Martin for Baller Squad Racing. Michael Maletta, P3. Congratulations to Michael. Crossing the finish line a little bit farther back, P7 overall, however, P1 overall for the rookies, the red plates. Congratulations to the number 25 Porsche. That's Landon Wall, your winner for the rookie plates. Congratulations to the rookie plates. We didn't see him cross the finish line, but the number 727 with a great run using all of his Jedi powers. Or technically his Sith powers, right? Because he's a Darth. Darth Kemmel, the number 727 Porsche, your silver-plated winner. Congratulations to the number 727. Darth Kemmel, your silver winner. Landon Wall, your bronze winner. Thiago Dinarte, P1. Leila Martinez, P2. And Michael Maletta, P3. Congratulations to all 3 of you. Or all 5 of you, technically. Apologize for the loud music blast. But that is it for round 2 of Odyssey Racing League's GT Americas. Season 20, to be exact. We've been doing this for 20 seasons already. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. It's incredible. Congratulations to all of our race winners. Congratulations to all of the cars on track. All of you did an amazing job tonight. No major incidents by the looks of it. So it looks like the stewards might have an easy night tonight. I say that with a smile on my face because I know the stewards are not going to have an easy time tonight.
Darkness glows softly.
That's going to be it from me here in the broadcasting booth. Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you so much for watching and listening, tuning in, liking, sharing, subbing, anything you can do to help us spread this amazing league that has been going on for 20 seasons so far. Here's to another 20 more. Good night.
The air moves slow, no edges, no lines. Just flow, just calm. Your voice is distant.